And welcome back to Flo's Sports Fix on this Easter Tuesday. Well, over Easter there was some huge games in the English Premier League. Some good results, some frustrating results, but there were lots of results anyway. And to give us the lowdown to see where teams are going, because we're in the final stretch. Not much longer in the season now. It's been a long one, but Ellis Gelios will give us all the answers. Ellis, how are you today? And you had a wonderful Easter firstly.
Clayton, great to be back with you. Yes, I hope you had a fantastic Easter. It's actually my Easter in a month's time, celebrating on the Orthodox calendar.
Okay.
But I very much enjoyed the 2 days off, and I hope everyone that was celebrating their Easter got around the festivities.
I'm sure many of us did. We all enjoyed it. It was a feast of sporting action over the weekend, as some were saying. And I was really happy when I saw, I'll start with this one, I was really happy when I saw the result for Liverpool. I was absolutely ecstatic. But then after West Ham's result this morning, I'm not so happy.
Yeah, well, just on Liverpool, Diego Jota coming back, Jurgen Klopp will surely pencil him in to be the centrepiece for the fixtures that he has coming up in the English Premier League, because he's come back with an absolute bang. The Portuguese international, absolutely instrumental for Liverpool in their surprising demolition job of Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium.
Yeah.
Jota scoring 2 goals, Mohamed Salah also having a very easy night out. But Gabriel, the Arsenal defender, just an absolute nightmare from him. He really played into Liverpool's favour just by giving the ball away sloppily on more than one occasion. But it's interesting to note that Mikel Arteta doesn't really have a whole lot to boast about in terms of points accumulated since he's taken over the job there from when they sacked Unai Emery, Arsenal. So he'll have a bit of pressure on him now to really put a good polish on the rest of their games leading into the final stretch of the Premier League this season. Arsenal, they're not going to get anywhere near the top 4, we know that much. But for them, it'll be about winning the Europa League and rebuilding for next season. And you'd really think that with the power brokers at the Emirates and all the pressure from the fans that's on them, that the target will absolutely be a Champions League finish for Mikel Arteta next season. And if he doesn't get anywhere near it, as he's failed to do this season, he'll be in a lot of trouble. But for Jurgen Klopp, seems like back to winning ways momentarily, and they've got a massive Champions League tie against Real Madrid to prepare for, which will be played tomorrow morning. So plenty going on again, and a lot for Liverpool fans to look forward to.
Yeah, very much so. There were some other interesting results. Newcastle they're not going quietly. They are fighting to stay in, and I've called it. I said to you they're going to go down. I still feel that, but they are showing some fighting Tyneside spirit.
I think for Newcastle, considering this is a club that doesn't really play football these days, they went 1-0 up a little too early on. It was about around the 26th minute when they took a surprise lead against a strong Tottenham team. And really, if this had come sort of with 15 minutes to go in the second half, they would have been in a much better position to secure a much-needed 3 points, Clayton. But unfortunately for them, look, it'll feel like somewhat of a victory salvaging a 2-2 draw, because we know that Tottenham obviously came out firing after conceding, going 2-1 ahead, largely thanks to Harry Kane, and then Newcastle pulling a late equaliser back. It's a much-needed point. It could be quite decisive in how things turn out, considering that they're only still 3 points ahead of Fulham, who are languishing in 18th. But Newcastle, a missed opportunity, considering this was at St James Park, and they're probably not going to have too many of these games left where they can get a big result against a big club. So a missed opportunity despite getting a surprising draw, you'd think.
Indeed. Well, you went for Man City. I was going for Leicester for obvious reasons, because I wanted Liverpool to do a bit better, but Man City, they were just too good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think many people could be that surprised. This is a Man City team that's just a serial winning outfit, and very much, again, the story against Leicester City over the weekend. A very impressive 2-0 win, it has to be said, for a side at the moment that's travelling to a Leicester City that's been absolutely hot as of the past month. Benjamin Mendy and Gabriel Jesus getting on the score sheet for Pep Guardiola's side. Really, for them now, it's very nearly a mathematical certainty. They've got that 14-point buffer. Some 9 games left. Clayton, it would, as we sort of illustrate every week, it would be a mammoth bottle job to not win it from here, and certainly with the way Man United are playing, hardly convincing themselves at home against Brighton, who we know have not had a strong season. It appears that Man City are going to have relatively no competition whatsoever in the lead into the remaining few games in the Premier League. So, like I've said in the past on the Sports Fix, it doesn't appear that they'll have much to worry about domestically at all between now and early May, and really it'll be a case of Pep Guardiola focusing all his attention on the UEFA Champions League.
Absolutely. The result this morning, West Ham, they are now sitting in fourth, so all Hammers fans will be ecstatic about the way their team has played at the moment and where they're sitting on the table.
Yeah, you never saw this coming, did you? I mean, no. David Moyes, he's always had a bit of a ceiling to him in virtually every job he's been in, but he's just come back from the dead. A 3-2 win away to Wolves is just beyond, if you rewind the clocks a year, it is beyond the wildest dreams of even the most unrealistic, ardent West Ham fan that you could possibly come across over there in East London. But here they are, absolutely knocking on the door of the Champions League under a manager that sort of had his perennial struggles. They are looking like they're going to be hard to knock off, because Chelsea, who are sitting in fifth and probably the nearest challenger, had an absolute nightmare on the weekend, losing at home 5-2 to West Bromwich Albion. And I've got to say, Clayton, watching this game, came after a bit of a boozy evening, and I was sitting there not sure whether I was hallucinating or not, because Chelsea went ahead through Christian Pulisic, and it looked like it would be normal service resuming for the Blues at Stamford Bridge, but hardly the case. West Bromwich Albion, Sam Allardyce, leaving his best to last, it seems, in this nigh mission impossible that it very much appears to be for them. Still 8 points off of safety, but a huge win for a club that's struggled all season long to score goals, to go away to Chelsea and score 5. A team that's just not set up and never will be set up under Sam Allardyce to ever score more than one goal away from home. It's just it adds to how bizarre this season has been. We've seen a catalogue of really unexpected games and just outrageously high-scoring affairs, and this was another one of them. But I tell you what, for the neutrals, what a sweetener this was. Just to see a club that's had their struggles all season long, a club that's only been back in the Premier League for a very short period of time since spending a while down in the Championship, a club that everyone has written off in the past month, sort of 6 weeks. Everyone questioning Sam Allardyce. Has he reached his use-by date? Does he still have the magic to pull off these incredible performances when the clubs that he's generally managing down in the cellars of the Premier League coming up against these clubs that they're just never expected to get much against? It's just incredible to see him still fighting. And I tell you what, there might be a few twists left in the tail. I think Sam Allardyce and West Brom.
I totally agree. I hear what you're saying, and Sam's been that way right throughout his career. Now, Ellis, here it is. It is the 6th of April. I'm date stamping this. There are roughly 8 games left for most sides. What's going to be the makeup of the top 5, the all-important top 5, when all the games, the domestic games, are done? We know Man City will give them the top spot. So who's going to be in 2, 3, 4 and 5?
I think 1 and 2 very much picks itself. You have Man City winning the league, Manchester United finishing second. Leicester City, they're prone to having a bit of a burnout when it comes to the tail end of the season. They always seem to start really strong and then taper off a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see them drop down to 4th and potentially have a bit of a nervous run into the last few games this season. But that's very much on them. They're still 4 points ahead of West Ham. I think it'll take a brave person to bet on West Ham securing a place in the top 4, especially with Liverpool coming into form now. You'll see Tottenham getting very desperate too, and we know that they've got a very strong squad. So with some easy games to come for Tottenham at White Hart Lane, you'd expect them to really put pressure on the top 4. Chelsea, it's really anyone's pick with them after their most recent result against West Brom that we just spoke about. But again, I think it was 10 games prior to the weekend that they went undefeated. So it'll be a real close finish for Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham regarding who gets that fourth spot. I think City, United and Leicester should all wrap up spots in the top four, and it'll be very interesting to see whether Leicester City can hold this down long term now, because we know they've been flirting with being a sort of top four contender for many years now, particularly under Brendan Rodgers. But you'd think now that they can potentially get a bit of a run together going forward and hopefully secure a few more Champions League seasons and potentially really, break this top four that we're so used to seeing. But look, I think I'm going to go with my heart. Liverpool finish fourth. I think they'll finish strong, particularly with the Champions League to look forward to as well. I think there's a sense that they've got their mojo back, and Chelsea's still a little bit hard to read. And I think Tottenham, as easy as the games are that they've got to play coming up, they're known for bottling it. So I think if you had to bet and bet in a safe sort of way, particularly being a Liverpool fan with that unconscious bias, I think you'd probably pick Liverpool to finish fourth. Unfortunately, West Ham would have to drop out for me. But really, with the nature of the season that we've seen played out, how could you possibly be sure about how anything's going to end up in the Premier League? It's just an absolutely unpredictable, entertaining, polarizing competition, and we've got nothing like it in the world at the moment. It's really a standalone sort of football league in that regard. So much to look forward to in the real business end of the season.
So, folks, if you were paying attention, Ellis has gone for Man City, Man United, Leicester City, Liverpool, and was it West Ham to finish fifth?
I'm going to go Chelsea to finish fifth.
Oh, okay. I had to get him on the spot there. I had to get him. So there you go. All right, Ellis, I've noted that down. We'll see how you go. I'm just going to go. The top four, I think, will stay the same. And I'm tossing up between Tottenham and West Ham. I think I'm going to lean towards West Ham just because that's the way I'm feeling at the moment. And it's, I'm feeling like some ham for dinner, so there you go. That's thrown me. All right, Ellis, we will talk some A-League later in the week with you, but thanks for joining us on the Sports Fix and running through the EPL results over the Easter weekend. You take care, and we'll look forward to catching up with you later in the week.
Thanks for having me, Clayton. All the best.